Jan here. In today's lesson we're going to look at a practice technique that will ensure that you're using the correct motions for whatever you're practicing. And the way we're going to do this is by using the dotted rhythms practice technique. And I'm going to explain why this works so well in this lesson, so I hope you stick around. As usual, we'll also have a short lick that we're going to cover, and since it's Friday today, it's going to be a hybrid picking lick. If you want tabs for this one and all the previous lessons, as well as all the upcoming lessons, you can go to my Teachable and sign up for my YouTube lessons subscription. If you want some extra help and support, you can apply for my guitar coaching program, and you can do that by using the link below. It's quite limited in terms of number of students I can accept at a time, but if it's full, I'll put you on a non-binding wait list. So if you're interested, go check that out. And as usual, I want you to sign up for my newsletter because I have a ton of great content there that you won't get anywhere else, not even here on my YouTube channel. And also, starting out, you'll get 17 free lessons on alternate picking, economy picking, hybrid picking, legato, as well as a full complete solo, all in Guitar Pro and video format. Right, so here's the slow version of that lick. We start here on the 7th fret of the D string. This is based on the B minor pentatonic scale with the added 9th. It's a very common scale in Eric Johnson's playing, so we're in very good territory right from the get-go. This also means that this scale fits in nicely whether you're playing in a Dorian tonality or an Aeolian tonality. So it's a very versatile scale and it sounds great. To make it easier to learn this lick, I've divided it into 3 sections. And basically these sections are going to overlap, so don't get confused. When you put them together, you don't want to double play the last/first note when you actually put it together. I'm just doing this so we don't end up with working on section 1, section 2, section 3, but we don't work on the actual connection between sections. It might be obvious to some of you, but I've seen this in a lot of students when they try to practice something and they do just that, and then they're really scratching their heads when doesn't work to put it together because they haven't actually worked on the transition from section to section. All right, so first section, we start here on the 7th fret. Let's go up the pentatonic scale. Okay, and the way that I pick this is down, M, A. It sounds nice on its own, a bit short maybe. This initial phrase might seem weird that I use down M, A, because you can also up pick this, down pick it, alternate pick it however you want, because you have so much time since you have a hammer on each string. So we basically have one note in between each picked note. So whatever tempo you're playing at, your right hand only needs to deal with half that tempo. But I use hybrid picking because I feel it sounds better and also it sort of feels better. And that might seem crazy if you're not used to hybrid picking, but I'll promise you, if you just keep working on the exercises that I give you, you're gonna have no issue doing this either. So again, my picking would be down, M, A, down, M, down. Right, the second section, we have quite a lot of notes on one string here, but it's pretty easy once you get it. So basically, down, pull off, slide, hammer, hammer, pull off, upstroke. And that's not actually the end of the section, but after this we have this pedal points thing where we're gonna pedal from the 9th here. So it's gonna sound like this. Put them together. So I guess I have 4 sections in this one then, but whatever. Hopefully you see what I mean. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm just pedaling from this note and then going down the minor pentatonic. So it's pretty easy when you look at it like that, but it sounds way more confusing when you play it. All right, and then after that we're gonna start on this note. Hello Maggie. And we're gonna go down, up, pull off, down, M, down, up, down, slide. So all together again. Alright, so today's practice tool is dotted rhythms. I just call it long, short, short, long, because the name dotted rhythms comes from notation and it's not really relevant to what we're doing here. But if you're wondering what the origin of the name is from the actual way that you notate this. And basically, you've probably seen it in, if you ever looked at notation, you're bound to see some note at some point having a dot to the right of it. But like I said, we're not going to get into this right now. You just need to think about this as long, short, short, long, and you'll be good. We're going to apply this to the lick we just learned, but first I'm just going to explain it using this chromatic pattern. So basically start on the 7th fret of the D string, with the index finger, play 4 notes, move to the 6th fret of the G string, and then the 6th fret of the B string, and then end on the pinky here. So if I play through this with long, short, it's going to sound like this. Right? And then I'm going to turn it around and go short, long. Now, the reason you want to do this is for you to sort of look into the future and see what motion is going to work for you when you try to get it up to a faster tempo. Because when you do this, you basically play half the notes at a much faster tempo than you're able to play the entire phrase at this moment. And then once you've done that, you're going to do it again and get the other 50% of the notes. So basically it's the transitions between the notes here. And you're going to find that depending on the phrase, long, short might be more difficult, or short, long might be more difficult. And usually that depends on where the string changes occur, for example. So in this case, if I go long, short, I have the fast note between 2nd and 3rd note, 4th and 5th, and so on. So I'm actually getting the string crossing here. That's a fast one, so long, short, long. So that might be more difficult for you. And then we have the other version here where we go short, long. So then I have the fast transition between 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 here, or 4, 5 and 6, depending how you count it. But as you can see, we don't have a fast transition between the strings. So, and if you play just a normal scale, will also feel different depending on the layout of it and everything like that. So hopefully that's clear, but that's a good thing. So when you practice something and you feel like, oh, this was really difficult, you know you're on the right track, because that's why you do this. But what you want to do then is just try it again and then let your body adjust things for you. So what you want to try to keep this at a high tempo anyway, meaning the actual transition. Because it's that transition that's going to teach you what you're doing wrong. But I don't want you to sit there with a calculator and pen and paper. Just do it again and try to relax more and try to be a bit more focused, but also pulling back a bit and observing more and see what your body does to fix this. Because really believe that our brain is way more powerful than we think. So if we can just get out of its way and let it do its job, we can figure most things out simply by relaxing and observing. I know on the face of it, it looks kind of weird, but this is a well-known practice technique that a lot of classical musicians swear by, and they're way better at practicing than us guitar players. So we really should, listen up when they give advice, and it really does help a lot. I tend to use this mostly when I'm learning actual musical phrases, and then I use the transition time most of the time when I work on my systematic technique exercises. But try applying this on things you've had problems with before, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find that it sort of magically improves by doing this. And the way that I suggest that you do it is turn on a timer, sit down, or stand up, whatever. Play it once with long short, so in this case. Then you do it short long. And then you do it normally. Repeat that over and over again in the same position, or simply move it up and down the fretboard each time you've completed the round of 3 ways of doing it. I found that's a very powerful way of practicing when it comes to pretty much anything that I'm trying to learn that's a longer line that's harder to loop. So that's usually where I apply this the most. If you're wondering if you should use a metronome for this, I would say no, because what you want to focus on here is that you get a long note and then a really fast transition of the note in between, and the overall tempo doesn't really matter. What you want to avoid though is getting the long notes to be at a too fast tempo, meaning you go like this. Because then the whole rhythm is going to be very shallow, and you want a big contrast in the rhythm here. Nara Soul, the amazing piano player here on YouTube, she talks about this as being, you don't want to have a lazy execution of the daughter rhythms. You want to have them really crisp. So with that said, let's apply it to today's lick and see how that works. Because this is not something that you only apply to any one technique. You can use it on pretty much any technique you can think of, because it's a rhythmic variation at the end of the day. So that should apply to anything. So we're gonna do it now with today's lick, and I'm gonna start with long short. Short long. And then normal. Just make sure to get the actual transitions really crisp. You don't want to end up with a sort of a bad jazz rhythm where you just go, because that sort of defeats the purpose. You really want to get it as down, da down, da down as possible. All right, so now it's your turn to try. I would try this on a few different things. Try it on this hybrid picking thing, but do normal legato, sweep picking, alternate picking, and especially phrases that you've had trouble with for a while, because this can actually clear things up pretty quickly. So again, the reason for this is that you'll actually find out quickly if the motion you're using is actually going to work at a faster tempo. But you can do that in a controlled environment instead of just going for broke and then, everything falls apart. But you should be able to play most things using dotted rhythms pretty much right away if you use the right technique. And then you're on the right path, and you can just keep practicing, and then you'll actually get to your goal much faster, because you won't be sitting there using motions that won't work at a higher tempo. So really give this a try, and again, let me know if you have any problems. All right, so that's it for this time. If you have any questions, you know where to post them, and I will also really appreciate it if you could post any type of issues or problems you might have with hybrid picking, so I can help you better in future videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.